trial of Detroit police officer Joseph Weekley. Today, the prosecution called two key witnesses to the stand: the sergeant in charge of the raid that turned deadly for a little girl, and the first officer to talk to Weekley.
Now, this happened after 7-year-old Ayanna Stanley Jones had been fatally shot. 7 Action News reporter Kimberly Craig in the courtroom today. Kim, we know the prosecution asked about whether officers saw the toys in front of that home. What's the significance of that?
Yes. Well, because it appeared that there may have been a number of toys in front of that house at the time of the raid, an indication that there may be children inside, but police officers said they didn't see any toys.
I had to be very careful with the words I used, and the only thing I could come to my mind was just to tell the truth. And I think I kept repeating, tell the truth. And that's what I told him.
Detroit Police Sergeant John Collins was the first person Officer Weekley talked to after a round from Weekley's gun fatally wounded 7-year-old Ayanna Jones. The little girl had been sleeping on a couch just inside the front door of her grandmother's house on Lillibridge on the city's east side. Officer Weekley was the point man on the raid team, so he was the first officer to enter the house.
He's in a frantic state, and he came out. She grabbed my gun, she grabbed my gun, she grabbed my gun, and it just kept going and going. And he was reaching and grabbing and clawing at my gun as if he was starting to go in some type of shock.
When I seen her, I could tell that she was injured. There was some blood to the face area. I don't know exactly what extent it was. As I was looked at her, another officer was right there, either came in or was right there at the time. It was Officer Taylor, which I told him at that time, take her out and get her some medical attention. And that's exactly what he did.
Captain Tim Dollinger was in charge of the raid that night, and he told the jury that he and several officers, including Officer Weekley, drove by the house roughly an hour before the raid. It was dark and they drove by once, but Dollinger says they did not see all of the toys that were later photographed.
Do you recall seeing the small children's toys in front of the house?
I did not.
It's true, is it not, that nobody said anything about having seen any toys, and so that subject didn't come up, correct?
I didn't recall.
And prosecutors say they still have 3 more witnesses to call to the stand tomorrow, and then the jury for themselves will witness a stun grenade that'll take place at another location, and then it'll be the defense's turn to call any witnesses. We will certainly keep you updated. Reporting live in downtown Detroit, Kimberly Craig, 7 Action News.
Thank you.